Don't worry, guys. I think I can do you justice here. No! I can't. It's too much pressure. Too many people could unsubscribe. I mustn't! Dang it! I must. For their sake. I'm gonna go to the chair and I'm gonna do you proud. Just watch me. Right. Let's dive deep into Broly country. Hey guys, MasakoX here. Since the last edition of What If Raditz Turned Good, we've had about 3 episodes of R&R come out, with the 4th one already in progress. However, it's been about 9 months since we last tackled the What If Raditz Turned Good train, as it were. Part 12 was a very long time ago, and I do apologise for that, and thank you for your patience. Why did it take so long to come up with a new part? Well, it was just down to the uncertainty about what was going to be coming next in Dragon Ball's future. What was the movie going to have in store for us? Was there going to be anything else at all? Now that we pretty much know that a new series is going to be coming in the next few months, we can really get back into what could possibly happen, especially now with the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie being confirmed as part of the main Super timeline. Now, if it's been a while since you last checked out this series, let's talk about what happened in the last part, and that was concerning the Tournament of Power arc. The biggest news from that installment was that Ranch took the place of Frieza, and it really caused a big stir within the community. Not really sure as to why Ranch was replacing Frieza. Well, I got an answer for you. She wasn't replacing Frieza, she was replacing Ten Shinhan. So, yeah. So therefore, surprising everybody, Ranch was the first one out of the Tournament of Power for Team Universe 7 due to the fact that her ever-increasing Saiyan pride got the better of her. It then all culminated in Raditz pulling a fast one to everyone around, including the Grand Priest and of course the 2 Zenos, by giving Goku a senzu bean, not expecting anyone to see it. And they got away with it because the Zenos love really cool unexpected twists. Now with the Tournament of Power over, the relationship between Vegeta and Raditz is the best that it's ever been. Now, they're no longer wanting to end each other. Civility between Raditz and Vegeta? Just 3 parts ago, that was practically impossible. Oh my god, they could actually have a conversation. But now Vegeta may be starting to get relevant again. This Saiyan Vegeta has managed to fully come to peace with himself, fully accepting the fact that Super Saiyan 4 is his own thing and that his next goal is to fully master it. So, Masako, what are you gonna do with this timeline? Well, put simply, we're gonna be tackling Dragon Ball Super Broly in it. Although it's going to have some pretty big changes in it. The biggest change being the fact there is no Frieza. Frieza is no longer in this timeline. He's still in the realm of nastiness deep down in the heck of Earth. He's still having that thing going on, so therefore, there's no Frieza to cause mischief in the main Universe 7. But a byproduct from all of this is that the situation on Earth is far less worrisome because Vegeta's no longer worrying about Frieza suddenly returning. In fact, there's no really bad stuff happening at all. It's all rosy. They're all just chilling out on Earth. However, that doesn't necessarily mean that things are entirely hunky-dory. There are some things going on unbeknownst to our heroes, but we'll get to that in a little bit. We are going to be involving something with another bad guy who recently came to the fore in another byproduct of Dragon Ball. For now, as we enter part 13 of What If Raditz Turned Good, all is at peace. We are now down at the island retreat of the Briefs family, where not only Goku, Raditz and Vegeta are training, but also Goten, Trunks and Ranch as well, because again, as everything is pretty much hunky-dory, they can pretty much do whatever they want to do. The main reason why the kids are there is that Ranch is really keen to try and test out her new power after the Zenkai boosts of the tournament, and to really kind of inform her best pals about what they can do as well. And her 2 cohorts are very much keen to try out the Super Saiyan 3 power that she'd been holding back from them, even though Ranch promised herself she'd never use it again because it pretty much ate up all of her hubris. Then again, had she actually mastered it properly and gave it the time of day, she might have been able to win against Caulifla, and I think she knows that this isn't the last time she's gonna see Caulifla. But then suddenly Bulma gets a call on her wristwatch. Now in the original timeline it's from Trunks, but this time I get the feeling it would be from Dr. Briefs. Apparently, someone broke in and stole the Dragon Balls that she'd been collecting. It turns out that it was some goons who just so happened to be wearing armor similar to Lord Frieza. But that doesn't make any sense. Frieza's no longer here. So who would be trying to mimic Frieza then? But before we continue with that, we gotta go a few months back to the point why they're even there in the first place. In the realms of space, the remainder of the Frieza Force are just drifting around trying to hatch a brand new plan, even though the fact that Sorbet and Tagoma, they failed their expedition, they feel the time is right to do it again. But this time, it's being led by Berry Blue and Kikuno, the characters that you may recognize from the main Broly movie. They've been finding it really tough because now they have no figurehead that's really worth speaking of. They've been having a tough time trying to gather new material and new soldiers for the Frieza Force because there's no figure. Not even Sorbet. Sorbet had like some good influence, but Berry Blue and Kikuno, they didn't exactly create inspiration or intimidation. That being said, due to the fact that they're more keen to keep the soldiers that they have instead of offering them for no good reason, it means that the numbers that they have is similar to what we actually have in the Broly movie, because, you know, they're still around. Berry Blue and Kikuno are coming up with a contingency plan because they're thinking about the Earth Dragon Balls. They could go and get them again, but just in case they can't, or maybe if the Earthlings are anticipating their next move and they'd be able to off them instantly, they might need to get another leader. Kikuno's trying to figure out who on Earth could be just as intimidating and formidable as Lord Frieza. But Berry Blue isn't all that worried. She's got someone in her mind that might do the job just perfectly. Even better than Lord Frieza maybe. His brother, Cooler. Cooler? Masako, you're bringing Cooler into the mix? How? Well, like Cooler said in the Super Dragon Ball Hero special, if his little brother can do it, then so can he! Besides, if Broly can be brought into the main timeline, then why can't Cooler? I mean, come on. It's so obvious that the next material for the next Dragon Ball movie is going to be about Cooler. Berry Blue knows exactly where to look for Cooler because she pretty much raised Frieza and Cooler from when they were little kids. She knows exactly what they're thinking and where would they go. And they managed to locate him deep on a Dust Bowl world where he basically created a personal exile, waiting for the moment when he can next strike next and claim his spot next to Frieza, or maybe usurp him. The reason why I think this is because where we find him in the 5th movie of DBZ. He's basically just stalking about on a throne on a nearby Dust Bowl of a planet. I think that's where he is right now. This all changes when Berry Blue approaches the planet and Cooler recognizes her instantly. And it's not really like, oh my dear darling Berry Blue, oh how I missed you, I've missed you so much. No, it's just curiosity. The mood is cordial enough though. Berry Blue and Kikuno request an audience with Lord Cooler and ask him to represent the Frieza Force as a figurehead for the organization. A figurehead of the Frieza Force? Are you serious? No, 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 this will not do. Is Frieza back somehow? What does he want to do? Ridicule his older brother for not accomplishing anything? Cooler's piercing stature and intimidating look scares Kikuno even more than it would do for Lord Frieza. But Berry Blue isn't here to argue. She doesn't really care about what the Force is called or who is doing what. She just wants to activate her plan, and if Cooler wants to call it the Cooler Force or be the main Grand Supreme Leader, then whatever. And with that, Cooler basically plays himself good. And with that begins a massive campaign drive to recruit new members for the newly founded Cooler Force. And thanks to Cooler's much more demure and much more sophisticated look, he actually strikes a sense of admiration, much like his father did. Cooler is a lot like King Cold in a way. And even though the actual campaign is less intense than it would be for his brother, it's just as effective because he actually knows how to handle people. With all of these planets under their control as well as their resources, they're able to recruit a massive batch of ships and really get their tentacles out into the universe even faster. Oh, well, okay, what about the plan for the Earth Dragon Balls then? Are they gonna wish Frieza back somehow? Well, yes, Cooler is on board with this plan. Or so it seems. Well, alright, what about Cooler's power then? Isn't it a little bit tiny in comparison to Golden Frieza's? Well, yes, you do have a point there. Whilst talking and getting up to speed with what's been going on, Cooler finds out about the Golden Frieza form via Kikuno, and how powerful it is. And Cooler is really curious to get a piece of that action then, to get Golden Cooler. How did his brother achieve it? Well, it was just due to that training thing. Really? How primitive. But he's not above trying to get stronger, and if his brother was able to do it, then so can he. Either way, Cooler does see the point in getting stronger in order to really get his grasp fully tight on Universe 7. So thusly we get the training period, with Cooler being much more effective than his brother because he's actually willing to put in the effort. unlike his brother. We return to the present day, and Cooler is just about ready to head to Earth to gather the main Dragon Balls. Chila and Lemo still get assigned to one another, and they're still targeting Planet Vampa because there is still a very big power there, because all of the establishing thing from the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie, that still takes place, because all of the events of the Raditz turn good scenario, it all just kind of kicks off at the beginning of the Raditz saga. Broly is brought back to Cooler's ship, and the exchange between Cooler, Broly, and Paragus is pretty much the same, with Cooler willing to comply Paragus' efforts to get revenge on Vegeta. And Vegeta's whole thing with Frieza, it's a really big curiosity to Cooler, because he does want to meet the Saiyans that managed to best his brother. And so the stage is set for the battle on Earth. Now, with the peril seemingly not as great as it is in the original movie, I feel that the kids would be here as well, because they're just going off to get the last Dragon Ball. It can't be all that bad, and if it's just two tiny little weak goons, even the kids will be able to test them. However, the goons do find the last ball, and Cooler's ship, as well as the rest of the Force, are summoned to Earth's atmosphere. This catches the attention of Goku, Vegeta, and Raditz, and pretty much anyone else that can sense energy. Feels like Frieza's, but it's a little different somehow, more refined, more mature. Cooler, Paragus, and Broly step out of the ship, and Cooler gathers the last remaining Dragon Ball just like Frieza did, but for now, he's willing to watch the battle between Broly and Vegeta. Now, like in the original, Vegeta has the upper hand for the long time. We go through the transformations of Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan 2, and then ultimately we get to see Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta versus Broly. He can really show how he's been able to refine Super Saiyan 4 even more than he did in the tournament. Cooler is keen to watch even more so, and then entrusts the Dragon Balls to Kikuno for safekeeping later on. He's playing along, but eventually, I get the feeling that Cooler will want to wish for something himself. He's not going to bring his brother back, he's going to get immortality. Power and everlasting life, something that his brother never achieved. Ha! Vegeta is beginning to flag majorly. He's not weakened or anything, but he's losing energy fast, and I get the feeling that this would be the point in the story where Raditz steps in without Vegeta's request. Vegeta, battered and bruised, curses Raditz's intervention and impudence, and once again trying to outwit the Prince of all Saiyans. But having said that, deep down, he's actually quite grateful for Raditz's interruption, because now he can actually try and regain some stamina and then go back for round 2. Raditz goes straight into his ace form. If Super Saiyan won't work against Broly now, then it's time to pull out the Super Saiyan God power. We then get to see for the first time Super Saiyan God Raditz. Broly is then exposed to Raditz's God Ki and is sent hurling into the realms of ice and almost succumbs to the watery depths. But this was a big mistake. It unlocks the wrathful form of Broly, and much like we see in the original movie, Raditz is now on the back foot again. It catches Raditz's attention, but he still feels like he's got enough power in reserve. After all, he still has Mastered Blue. He then calls out to Goku, "Brother, I get the feeling that you've been missing out. Why don't you come in and have a go?" Goku doesn't need telling twice. Goku then does his thing, going all the way up to Super Saiyan Blue, including the Godhold thing, trying to convince Broly to be a good guy again, and then we all know that that doesn't work. And then, of course, we then get the, how do I put it delicately? The ice bath. Piccolo communicates with Goku and asks what's going on. Goku's been really flagging, and the fact that Raditz and Vegeta are just dawdling around, why are they doing that? What's going on? Goku hatches the plan to get the three of them out of there so they can then regroup and try something different. Now, if you're wondering where the kids are, Whis and Bulma pretty much told them to go home, and I think at this point, they're not going to be told twice, because it's looking pretty dire. Raditz then comes back in to team up with Goku, and both of them going blue, with Raditz then going up even further to Mastered Blue. Cooler is getting impatient. He is bored of this fight and just wants to go back and use the Dragon Balls. He turns to Paragus asking whether Broly can get any stronger, and when finding out that he can't, Cooler just basically offs him with a beam. "If you do not come down and end this, you are going to end up the same way as your father." Now, instead of Frieza trying to be conniving or deceitful or going, "Oh no, Broly," like he did so hilariously in the movie, no, Cooler's just going to get to the point, and it's going to backfire badly for him later. Seeing his father's motionless body, Broly then powers up to full power Super Saiyan like he does in the original, and things are not looking good for our heroes. Vegeta has had enough. He powers back up to Super Saiyan 4 again despite not having full stamina, and the three of them are then frantically trying to fight up against Super Saiyan Broly. This is all going really, really badly for them, but they then decide to actually head off to Piccolo and then set Broly on Cooler, because Broly doesn't care who he's fighting, he just wants to fight someone now. But hey, we at least get to see Golden Cooler. How does that fare up? Not very well, like his brother. The three Saiyans head off to Piccolo. They regroup and decide to now think about the fusion dance. Raditz and Goku don't hesitate to use Goditz once again because it's a tried and tested formula and is more than strong enough now with the power of blue. But Vegeta then uses this moment to pipe up and says that he will not be sidelined again. He does not care what he has to do, so long as he gets to fuse with one of them. Whatever this fusion thing entails, he promises to do it with Raditz. Why would Vegeta want to fuse with me? Why? But then Goku just gives him the look of saying, you know, this could be good for your friendship. Raditz then comes along to the idea, especially with the fact that it involves Vegeta doing a really silly dance. So Raditz is going to have a lot of fun watching that. And after various failed attempts, because Vegeta, he still is learning, Raditz and Vegeta fuse successfully into a brand new Saiyan entity, Radgeta. Goku gives Radgeta a lift back to the battlefield and offers to assist him if things get pretty gnarly, but Radgeta is pretty confident that he'll be able to take the beast on no problem. With the skill and calculated tactics of Vegeta as well as the sheer bravado and shrewdness of Raditz, Radgeta is a very formidable Saiyan, much less showy than Goditz, but actually just as effective, if not more so. Radgeta has an answer to Broly every step of the way. We go through the original base form, Super Saiyan 2, but where do we go next? Because Raditz has blue and Vegeta has 4, well, we get Super Saiyan 4, but with a little bit of a twist. It has a very different ki. It's like the blue ki around blue Raditz, but it's the Super Saiyan 4 being of Vegeta. It's like a variation of Super Saiyan Rage in a way, but just with 4, but it's still Super Saiyan 4, just given a godly boost. This powerful fighter is just about to finish Broly, but Chile is able to get the wish, saving Broly and sending it back to planet Vampa. When the dust clears, Radgeta finds Cooler and is about to finish him off, but Cooler stops them before they do so. He is very impressed by this fusion form, and wants to fight them again someday with his golden form. He will be training, and the next time they meet, it won't be as one-sided. Meanwhile, Chile and Lemmo are setting up their new digs on planet Vampa with Broly, but just as they're doing so, Goku shows up along with Raditz this time. I get the feeling that Raditz would be quite curious to see what Goku's up to and what this new Broly person is like, because it's another low-class Saiyan, or at least a non-elite Saiyan. It's someone to relate to in Raditz's eyes. Not to mention, it's a Saiyan who's actually taller than Raditz. That's a real oddity indeed. When they depart, they both promise to train alongside Broly in the future, and his integration into the main team as well as the fold of friendship is pretty much guaranteed. And that's where we're going to leave things for right now. So what do you guys think? Does this part excite you? Do you think this will actually entail something quite interesting when the Super Series gets fully underway? Leave a comment below and let's get this discussion going. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Until the next one, be sure to like and subscribe. Catch you later!